told you this would happen, but you never listened. Don't blame this on me.
You walk into a room and something shifts. No one says anything. No one has to. You can feel it. The air tightens. Conversations pause. Eyes avoid yours just for a second too long. And somehow, you already know, if something goes wrong today, it's going to be you. If there's tension, conflict, disappointment, it will find its way back to you. It always does. Maybe it was the broken plate. Maybe it was the argument that had nothing to do with you. Maybe it was just your tone, your face, your existence. And over time, you stopped questioning it. You stopped defending yourself. Because after hearing it enough times, you don't just believe you made mistakes. You start to believe you are the mistake. If this feels familiar, you're not imagining it. And you're definitely not alone. There's a name for this. And it didn't start with you.
I told you this would happen, but you never listened. Don't blame this on me. You were the one who started.
Please, Mom. Just look at me. Why won't you listen? You said I was sorry. Please don't do.
To understand the scapegoat, you have to understand the system they were born into. In a healthy family, love is steady. It doesn't disappear when you make a mistake. It doesn't have to be earned. But in a toxic, often narcissistic family, love works very differently. It becomes a currency, something you earn when you behave and lose the moment you don't. Affection is given when you comply. Withdrawn when you question. Silence becomes punishment. Approval becomes control. Over time, you learn a dangerous equation. Love equals performance. And at the center of it all is a fragile ego, usually a parent who cannot tolerate shame, failure, or criticism. Because if something goes wrong, they can't face it. It would shatter the image they've built of themselves and of the perfect family. So instead, the system adapts. Blame has to go somewhere, and that's where you come in. Not because you deserved it, but because the system needed someone to carry what they refused to face. This isn't love, it's control disguised as care. So why you? Why were you the one who carried the blame? While someone else was protected, praised, even idealized. It wasn't random, and it wasn't because you were weak. In fact, it was usually the opposite. You were the one who noticed things others ignored, the one who felt deeply, the one who asked questions that made people uncomfortable. You saw the tension behind closed doors. You sensed when something wasn't right, even when no one said it out loud. And in a dysfunctional system built on denial, that makes you dangerous because every toxic family needs a story. We're fine. Everything is fine. The golden child protects that illusion, reflecting back the version of reality the parent wants to see. But you reflected the truth. And truth in that kind of environment is not welcomed. It's punished. So they didn't choose you because you were the problem. They chose you because you couldn't pretend there wasn't one. The hardest part isn't what happened back then. It's how it follows you long after you've left. Because the role didn't stay in that house. It became part of you. It starts with a voice. Quiet, constant, familiar.
I must have made a
You're too
mistake.
much.
Let me check
You did
this
something
again.
wrong. Don't mess
No,
this up.
wait, this actually looks correct.
Even when no one else is blaming you,
Shouldn't leave.
you blame yourself. You apologize without
This isn't
thinking.
working.
You replay
But
conversations
what
for
about tomorrow?
hours.
I am
You
so
feel
incredibly
guilty
sorry for the delay.
for things that were never yours to carry. And no matter how much you achieve, the degree, the promotion, the praise, there's this persistent feeling that you're a fraud, that one day people will finally see what you've always believed about yourself. In relationships, it gets even more complicated. Part of you craves connection, but another part is always bracing for impact. So you overgive, you over-explain, you try to earn love, or you do the opposite. Shut down, pull away, need no one. Because somewhere along the way, your brain learns something powerful. Love feels unpredictable. Closeness feels unsafe. And even now, your body remembers. Staying alert, reading every shift in tone, every subtle change in mood. Not because you're broken, but because you were trained to survive. People look at you now and say, "You're so strong." And they're not wrong. But they don't see the cost of that strength, because you didn't become strong in a safe place. You became strong in a place where you had no other choice. You learned to handle everything on your own, to not need anyone, to keep going no matter how heavy it got. But that kind of strength comes with a price. You struggle to trust. You feel exhausted, even when everything looks fine. You carry everything alone, because that's what you were taught to do. And sometimes, the hardest truth to face is this: you weren't raised to feel loved. You were trained to endure, and surviving may have saved you back then, but it's not the same as living now.
I promise it wasn't like that. You have to believe me. I didn't mean it that way. My intentions were good. It's okay. You shouldn't leave.
I have to go. This isn't working.
But what about...
Healing doesn't begin when they change. It begins the moment you stop waiting for them to. Letting go of that hope, the apology, the understanding, the validation you deserved, isn't weakness. It's grief. Grief for the love you should have had but didn't. And from that place, something powerful can finally grow. You start setting boundaries, not to hurt them, but to protect your peace. You remind yourself, I'm not the problem anymore. You learn to reparent yourself, to speak gently, to trust your own reality, to give yourself the safety you never had. And little by little, you stop surviving. You start choosing yourself. You start building a life that doesn't revolve around proving your worth. Because you were never broken. You were shaped by something that wasn't yours to carry. If this resonated with you, subscribe to the channel for more deep psychology content and share your experience in the comments. You're not alone in this.